Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor, Ethico.
Handling multiple compliance cases can often feel like navigating a complex labyrinth. Ethico introduces simplicity and intelligence into this chaos with our custom workflow automation. By automatically routing cases based on your unique criteria, we turn the maze into a clear path forward. Envision a compliance process that's not just effective, but also intuitive and adaptable to your needs. It's time to redefine efficiency in your workplace. Embark on this journey of transformation at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, 2023, The Year in Compliance, to discover a world of seamless compliance management.
The Daily Compliance News for February 2, 2022. Happy Groundhog's Day to you, Mom. We begin with a story from the South China Morning Post, which asks, is former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak getting a pardon for his role in the 1MDB scandal? He was jailed for 12 years for corruption, and now there is potential that he will be pardoned for his sins and that he would actually come clean. Hard to believe a lion's sack of whatever like that would come clean, but maybe they do that in Malaysia, unlike here in America. Next up from the Financial Times, Germany has pulled the plug on an EU law to prevent supply chain abuses for environmental and human rights abuse. It is interesting that Germany would go through and drop its support. Germany's a linchpin in holding the agreement together, and the Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive is now in jeopardy because Germany's business lobby says the proposed legislation places a huge burden on businesses and in many instances is unworkable. So interesting to see that type of argument from Germany. Next up from Reuters, in a report on yesterday's hearings from tech CEOs in front of Congress, as you might guess, it was largely theater, not much substance, but legislators, including the great Ted Cruz, said that companies have blood on their hands for failing to protect children from the escalating threats of sexual predation on their platforms. The hearing marks the latest effort by lawmakers to address concerns of parents and mental health experts who say that the guardrails are insufficient to protect children. And our final story comes to us from the BBC, which reports on an interview that the BBC did with Michael Lewis, the well-known author here in the United States. It's a wide-ranging interview, and I found the article quite interesting. The interview will come out later this week. And Michael Lewis talks about his journey to authorship, his original book, Liar's Poker, and where he's gone from there. If you're a Michael Lewis fan, and I am, love his work, read most of his books, I know you'll enjoy this interview with Michael Lewis. In the month of February, the Compliance Podcast Network is sponsored by Ethico. Are you struggling to close cases? Well, Ethico is here for you. Take advantage of their innovative approach to empathetic issue intake, streamlined case management, and enterprise-wide disclosures. Learn more about how you can crowdsource risk management at scale at ethico.com/CPN. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.